It's the Omer Countdown. The final countdown.
Everybody, it's Brother Aaron from Got a Minute. We're on day 46 of the Omer Countdown. Is Felipe gonna get raptured on the 50th day? Will Jesus blow his shofar and wave those 2 wave lobes and present them to the Father on the 50th day? Time will tell. We're going to do 3 things. We're going to talk about why Feast of Weeks is on Sunday, June 8th, because there is so much confusion in the comment section. We're going to do that. We're going to talk about the 153, the secret message, or the mystery of the 153, or at least what I'm seeing here. And we're going to talk about also we're going to do a live stream tonight at 9 p.m. EST. And you know what? I'm just going to lay it all on the line. We're just going to be there for hours. And whoever wants to hear and come, and we're going to read a PDF of so much information that I've talked about for the past year. And we're just going to lay it all on the line. Lay it on the line. Won't you lay it on the line? We're just going to put all the info down. And everything that's surrounding Feast of Weeks and the reasons as to why. And so anyway, let me show you about the 153. Remember, Revelation 4 verse 3, he sees an emerald color. Emerald. Feast of Weeks, 4th feast. Okay, let me turn the camera around and show you some stuff. Okay, the calendar issues, right? Okay, the new moon was on March 31st. So that means that Sunday, April the 13th, was Passover. You do not start the count from Passover. You start the count from Feast of First Fruits. This is not the Feast of First Fruits. The Omer count starts from the Sunday after the Sabbath, so you have to use this one, Sunday, April the 20th. That gets you to Sunday, June 8th. Think of this pencil as the number 50. If you start your count on this red one, Passover, it lands you on June 1st, 1 week too early. I don't care if you're a rabbi or a Jew or you're some smart guy for 40 years. That's too early. The Omer count does not start from Passover. It starts from the Feast of First Fruits, according to the Bible. Leviticus 23 verse 10 is the day after the Sabbath. That's when you start your count. 7 Sabbaths must be complete. Sabbath 1, Sabbath 2, Sabbath 3, Sabbath 4, Sabbath 5, Sabbath 6, Sabbath 7. And bingo bango, there is the day. It's only this day. It's not a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's not. Pentecost will always land on a Sunday because you always start the count on a Sunday. Now, of course, our calendars could be wrong or whatever, but this is the Feast of Weeks. It is Pentecost. It is Shavuot. It's all called the same thing. It's all culminates on one day. All right, that's that. A little review. Pentecost. Jesus fulfilled Passover in the flesh by dying on the cross for our sins. Jesus fulfilled unleavened bread by dying and going into the grave on unleavened bread. Jesus rose from the grave on the Feast of First Fruits, which starts the Omer countdown. It's called Omer because the wave sheaf is called Omer in Hebrew. That begins the count. This does not begin the count. This begins the count. So that's why we have to start from Sunday, April the 20th, not Sunday, April the 13th. That's why a lot of people thought it was on June 1st, but it is not. Jesus did not fulfill Pentecost in the flesh. All right. That's next on the list. Emerald green in the throne room when John's there. So we're going to talk about the 153 now, and we're going to talk about all these numbers here and relate it to some of the things I talked about already. So on Monday, I posted a video about the multitude of the sons escape. Let me show you that really quick before I get into this chart. So if you haven't checked out that video, go check it out from Monday. But it's the multitudes of the sons escape. Will Yeshua get the sons, you and I, the children of God, on first fruits after 7 Sabbaths? Feast of Weeks is 7 Sabbaths. On Shavuot, on the Feast of Weeks, when Israel is 77, will he blow the shofar? Will the multitudes of the sons escape on the Feast of Weeks? All right. So in Hebrew gematria, the Benai Elohim, that means the sons of God. You and I are the sons of God. And I'm going to relate this to yesterday's video as well. So we got 153. It equals 153. So you and I are the sons of God, the sons of Elohim, the Benai Elohim, the Benai Elohim. Bet is 2, Noon is 50, Yod is 10, Hey is 5, Aleph is 1, Lamed is 30, Hey is 5, Yod is 10, Mem is 40. The Benai Elohim, we're the sons of God waiting to be taken and adopted. Abba, Father, come and get us, please. Is that not the cry of our hearts? Romans chapter 8. Israel is right now, they're 77 years old. Christ in English gematria, although I don't put a lot of weight on English gematria, but it is interesting to know that it does equal 77. So Christ equals 77 in English gematria. Israel is 77. The genealogy from God to Jesus is, there's 77 people mentioned in Luke chapter 3. Luke is written to the bride. Many people agree with that. They say that Matthew's written to the Jews. They say that Mark's written to the tribulation saints. They say that Luke's written to the bride. I agree. The way that it's written, I think it makes complete sense. Revelation 1:16, Jesus comes with a two-edged sword. Luke 22 verse 38, Jesus confirms that 2 swords is enough. Sword in Hebrew is Zion. It's the 7th letter on the Hebrew alphabet. 77. In Luke, we have a 77 double sword confirmation. Jesus comes with a double-edged sword in Revelation 1:16. Okay, let's go over here. All right. And then we're going to tie it all in together. The median, or the center of 153, there's 76 numbers to the left and 76 numbers to the right. 77 is the median, or the center number of 153. Israel is in the 77th year. All right, hold that thought. So 153 points to 77. If you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10, 11, 12, 13, all the way to 17, the median, the center number is 9. Now hold that thought. The center number of 153 is 5. So what's 9 times 5? It's 45. Remember that 9 times table? Remember this 9 times table we did? Where essentially every single thing equals 2025. If you add all the sums up of all these numbers, it adds up to 2025. So the 9 times table adds up to 2025. So the center of all these additional, when you add them all up, is 9. When you add up 1 plus 5 plus 3, it's 9. So the 9 times table, it points to 2025, but the median in the additions also bring you to the 9 times table, 2025. And like I said, if you multiply these two medians, you get a 45. Remember all that work we did with 45? Adam is 45 in Hebrew. Lot is 45 in Hebrew. Enoch is 45 in English. Elijah is 45 in English. It equals 2025. In addition, in the genealogy of the 77, which points to 2025, from Jesus to Obed, Obed is number 45. If you add 45 to Jesus, it's Boaz. This is the story of the Feast of Weeks. Ruth chapter 4. Boaz marries Ruth and has Obed. So 153, if I was to summarize this, seems to point to Israel's 77th year in 2025 if you take the center point. The center point of 153 points to Israel's age, and the center point of the adding the medians equals 2025 when you use that math, when you multiply the medians. Amazing. Now, let me just add to my video from yesterday. 153, the sons of God. We are the sons and the children of God waiting to be taken to the Father by Jesus, the high priest. On Rapture Day, the high priest waves the wave loaves and presents the wave loaves, which are the first fruits, which are the firstborn, which are the children of God, to the Father. That's what the leavened bread is. That's you and I being waved and presented to the Father. The sons of God. Now remember, the sons of God in Genesis 6 is actually angels. Angels. And remember, we talked about this yesterday, where the angels are like, it says that we will be like angels. We will be like angels. So when it's talking about the sons of God, we can very easily look at Jacob's dream and say, you know what? It might not be just angels. It might be us in our glorified bodies being brought to the Father. Jesus, our high priest, waving us as wave loaves, presenting us to the Father. And so what I think Jacob was seeing was he was seeing the sons of God, the Benai Elohim, the 153 being presented to the Father on Shavuot. Jacob was 77 years old when he had this dream. Shin, ba, bet, ayin, ta. That spells Shavuot from his head. In the place of Bethel, house of God. Bethel, house of God. You only bring your first fruits to the house of God on Feast of Weeks, on Shavuot, which is the word he's dreaming up of every 26 letters. Exodus 23, verse 19, and Exodus 34, verse 26 talk about bringing your first fruits into the house of God on the Feast of Weeks. At age 77, I believe he's dreaming about the Benai Elohim, the children of God, being presented to the Father on Shavuot in his 77th year. Note, Jacob was not being brought. He was witnessing something else happen. He worked for Leah and Rachel for 7 more years, and bada binga, bada boom, you got yourself a spicy meatball. Okay, look, we're one day closer. If this is the last video you see, I pray that you get tight with Christ, because this all is all speculation. I don't know if this is all going to happen, but if it does, you know, Jesus is coming and time is running out, and I need you to get on the ark. You can only enter the kingdom of heaven through the blood of Christ. The blood of Christ saves. All right. Join us on the live stream tonight, where I'm just going to talk for a very long time on all the patterns I've seen in the past year. I hope to see you soon. Go Jesus, go. And adios, muchachos. Let's get out of here. Let's blow this popsicle stand. And Rico's getting antsy, man. Okay, take it easy. Bye.